Spring is at its peak here in Norway right now, and it is no longer a quiet little stream hiding under the spruce branches. It is a roaring wave of water and color, completely breaking out of the winter silence. In spring, the landscape around us is exploding with a lot of different shoots and flowers and different things to forage. And I had to dedicate a little video here to show you my favorites. This is the maple flowers on the Norway maple, and they provide great salad greens in the spring. They don't really have that much of a taste, maybe a sweet start, and then after that it tastes a lot like salads. But I really like to put them in my salads because they also make the salad look really nice. It's safe to eat both the young leaves, the flowers, and also the sap from the Norway maple. If you have other maples in your area, I would recommend that you research them a little bit before you eat them. To see if it is a maple, you can probably just look at the leaves that are coming out next to the flowers. And also I have a video about how to recognize trees in winter that you can look at how the branches are positioned, how the bark is looking, and different things like that. Another thing that we often start to see in the spring are a lot of fields full of flowers. These ones are not edible, but I will show you some that are. Here in Norway you can often find some edible violets in the spring. Here is Viola rivignana, and I also found Viola tricolor. Both these flowers are pretty nice to use just as a decoration on your cakes or your desserts or in your salads. It was actually the first plant that I ever made a video about. But I need to mention it again because this is my favorite plant of all time, and it's the best right now in the spring. This is Meadowsweet. So a little tip, even if you guys already know about this plant, is to actually forage the one that you see that is the smallest here, because those are the less bitter ones and they give a better taste on your cordials. You can still use the larger ones, it's just a little bit more tricky. And for those of you who have not seen my earlier video about this plant, please check that out if you want to make a really nice cordial with a very surprising taste. And you can also learn how to identify this plant by looking at that video, but a beginner tip for every one of you is to smell the plant. It's sort of like a honey smell and flavor, but I think also other people think it smells a little bit more like almond essence or something like that. Here in Norway we call it mjødurt, which is more equivalent to meadwort, and that's also because back in the Viking Age they used this plant to put the flavor on the mead. So now let's get to something that neither of you have learned from me before. And that's because I only found it this year. These are young spruce cones, and they are just before they start to become filled with powdery pollen. And right now they're actually quite crispy and really nice to put in your salad, and also to conserve them for a later date in a syrup. Then, as I'm sure most of you know, you can always pick the young shoots of the Norway spruce. Most spruce trees are edible, but be sure to research the ones that you have in your own area. I know we're talking about wild edibles, but we just have to take a little break and admire these really cute goats. Hi! Hey! So many of the plants that I have shown you in this video are plants you will probably find very close to your house. And that especially goes for the plants that I'm going to show you now. Of course, we have to mention our friend the dandelion. At this time I foraged the flowers. Again, there is a video that I have made before about this plant, and under that video you can also find some links to different recipes for syrups and cordials and dinners with this plant. This year I tried to be a little bit experimental with it though, so I tried to make golden milk with dandelion. It was really good. But I'm not sure it counts as a dandelion recipe, since the taste of ginger and turmeric was a little bit strong. I had a plan to talk about birch leaves, but these ones have gotten a little bit too far, so I think I will just enjoy them as a visual thing for now. This is Lady's Mantle. It is known for being a very important woman's herb and is said to have a stimulating and balancing effect on the female body. It's also said to have a good effect on your digestion, and also it's nice if you have menstrual pain. In general, I use this herb instead of spinach in warm food. The consistency of it can be a little bit leathery, so I don't really like to use it fresh in salads, unless it's small like this little shoot here. You can use both the flowers and the leaves, and the plant is pretty easy to recognize. The last plant I want to show you is one that is invasive here in Norway. This is a Japanese knotweed. And in the spring it has very nice edible shoots that eventually grow to be very large bushes that take over everything where they grow. The shoots can be used almost like rhubarb in pies, and you can also use them a little bit like asparagus if you fry them very shortly. As always, it's important that you're sure that it's the right plant before you eat it, so look for the old long stems from the last plant. And also I will show you a few signs that you can look for here. The plant has red spots on the stem, almost heart-shaped leaves. The stem is also built up of different floors in a way. So it has this hollow inside, but at the point where you see this red line around the stem, it will not be hollow. So if you snap it, you can see that it's not hollow here, but over that, it is hollow. One of our most poisonous plants, poison hemlock, also has red spots on the stem, so please make sure you check all the things that I said and also read up on this plant to identify it properly. We often say about this plant that if you can't beat it, eat it. But there are some things you should be very careful with when you are picking this plant. Since this plant is invasive, it's very important that we don't spread it. And actually, just a piece of this plant that is the size of your fingernail can become a new plant if you lose it on the ground somewhere. So always pick it and put it in something sealed, maybe a plastic bag or a box. And whenever you are making food with it and you have some leftovers, you should never throw them in the compost bin. Put it in the residual waste or in some other waste that you know is going to be burned and not just moved over to a landfill. Here's my super simple Japanese knotweed pie recipe. And I'm sorry that these clips aren't that beautiful, it's just that I didn't have the time, but I really wanted to share this recipe with you, so it is what it is. here we have our Japanese knotweed pie. Tastes almost like rhubarb pie, basically.